Question 45. Does Islam consider consensual adultery the same as rape, since it prescribes the same punishment? Isn't rape a much greater crime than consensual adultery? The answer is that this idea has become a norm in the West today, which is that consensual adultery is not a problem. It is a major crime, and it is frankly a very silly and dangerous idea, as consensual adultery can be 1,000 times more harmful to society than rape. Both are fire and abomination, and consensual adultery is the culture of the West today. So how did the normalization of consensual fornication begin, and what was the result? The West did not reach the normalization of consensual fornication until after accepting seduction, betrayal, indecency, and forbidden seclusion. These are prerequisites that must be accepted before normalizing consensual adultery and making it a societal reality. As a result of consensual adultery, households became corrupt and lineages mixed. And intentional abortion and killing of fetuses. These are consequences of consensual adultery, and inevitably, in consensual adultery, there are no lifelong commitments from the man to the woman as there are in pure marriage. The woman is seen by the man as merely a fleeting lustful relationship. And when a society reaches acceptance of consensual adultery, it surely has reached its peak in moral corruption. Consensual adultery has resulted in piles of aborted fetuses because they are unwanted fetuses. And according to the famous statistical site, the number of fetuses deliberately killed this year alone, up to the time of writing this part of the book, exceeds 42 million. More than 42 million are killed in 1 year due to consensual adultery. Amazingly, abortion has been legalized officially. Killing fetuses has become legally permissible. Consensual adultery, in addition to the mounds of death, destroys the woman's psyche because the nature and instinct of a woman refuse transient relationships. And consensual adultery destroys the concept of the family. And consensual adultery is a direct cause of sexual diseases that are ravaging parts of the economies of entire countries. Consensual adultery leads to the moral corruption of society as a whole. Family disintegration, mixed ancestry, the father of the child fleeing to leave the mother wounded with her child, killing of embryos, destruction of the woman's psyche. Countless calamities. Can you imagine that more than half of the children in Britain today are without a father? Due to the normalization of consensual adultery causes a person to lose their religion and faith, if there was any original religion. All these disasters are part of the calamities of consensual adultery. On the other hand, rape does not have all this societal destruction, as rape is a transient disaster. Yes, rape is a major crime, but it does not lead to the corruption of society from the ground up, as happens with consensual adultery. Therefore, the Western approach of legalizing consensual adultery and attacking rape is a mad system that leads to the destruction of the world. But does that mean that the punishment for rape is the same as the punishment for adultery in Islam? Rape, if it occurs under the threat of weapons or the woman is forcibly taken from her family, then the crime becomes a case of brigandage, and the punishment for it is severe in Islam. God Almighty said, "The penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive to spread corruption on earth is that they be killed or crucified or have their hands and feet cut off on opposite sides or be exiled from the land. That for them is disgrace in this world, and for them in the hereafter is a great punishment." The punishment for highway robbery is applied once he forcibly kidnaps the woman, whether adultery occurs or not. By kidnapping her, he becomes a bandit. If he commits adultery with her, his crime becomes more severe because he combines two crimes. Adultery and highway robbery, consensual adultery, remains 1,000 times more dangerous to the foundation and the broad base of society than rape, because rape is a fleeting criminal incident. As for consensual adultery, this ravages every home and destroys the state morally and religiously.